Hey, it's Em here. I am finally back in one of my most favorite parts. The last time I was here, I wasn't able to walk around because it was very, very slippery on the ground. But right now, it's it's not too bad. Usually when there's like a coating of snow that kind of helps protect from extremely icy conditions, I actually automatically feel good being out here. And this is back here is what I'm walking into. I just love like when there's a light, like wintry coating out. But anyway, when on my way here, I was actually practicing some Spanish. I really want to be able to speak conversational Spanish. In the United States, there's a lot more people here that speak Spanish, and I think it'd be cool to be able to converse. Plus, there's also there's lots of places that I would like to see eventually where they speak Spanish. So for me, it's definitely something I want to be able to do. Plus, like at least if I try to get some basic conversational stuff down, I think that will feel good. So so that's just something I'm trying to do. I'm trying to incorporate that into parts of my life right now, because traveling of any kind, like even going from state to state, is not really an option right now. I'm trying to use like my random park trips as an opportunity for me to listen to some Spanish in the car. I'm trying to find ways to work it into my life, because I think that's really the key. I think when I think about like when do I have moments where I can just sit and focus and concentrate and learn something new. And obviously, like when I have those free moments after work or something like that, those are good times. But at the same time, like if I can work it into my commute, then I still can have time to enjoy other things that I like as well at home. So for example, painting. I've really been into painting, and I want to make sure that I use my time to do something that really helps relax me. It's been a pretty chaotic last few weeks, just I mean in the world in general, but especially here. So it's nice to have those healthy escapes. And I'm telling you, me at home, having my paintbrush out and listening to some really old mysteries, there's nothing like it. I love it. It's like one of my most favorite relaxing things to do. And then of course, taking a moment to walk. And thanks to you being here, or thanks like this whole new documentation thing I got going on, it forces me to get out, because I'm like, oh, I have to film this week. So it's making me a little less lazy than I would want to be. I haven't even had breakfast yet, which is highly unusual for me, because I wanted to make sure to get out while the parks were a little more quiet. But I'm hoping I won't slip and fall down there. I've definitely taken some nasty falls in a park, that's for sure. When I was little, I was in a playground, and I started running down a hill, and I ran down this hill and tripped and smashed my knee onto the concrete sidewalk that was part of the park. I at least want to know that I've tried to use my body and appreciate my body as best as I could, you know. And so for me, it's really been a big focus. That's why it's another reason I've been trying to like make sure to work out and do things that are active. Fortunately, I do naturally like to move. I like to between like teaching Zumba, dancing, and walking and exploring. That's one of the things I liked about travel. With travel, it's cool because you can kind of accidentally get a lot of physical activity in, especially because like walking is a weight-bearing exercise, and you don't really realize that you're moving because you're so caught up in the beauty of where you're at. I like things like that, it's kind of accidental. Even when I'm, dancing, anything like that, I feel like it's about the music. It's not about, oh, I gotta move. It's like, no, the music is on and I have to. Although, it's funny to me though, because like, I don't know if you've ever been in this situation, but sometimes like I hear a song, I'll be somewhere and the song is so good and everyone else just seems completely unaffected. And I'm like, how are you unaffected by this? This is so good. Like sometimes, some rhythm, even if it's not your type of music, some rhythm is so good, you can't help but just kind of like, and over time, I've become increasingly more likely to act a fool, act crazy, and not on purpose, just because I like to move, and it feels good to like, I'd rather be happy in the one dancing than the one kind of sitting in the corner with my arms folded while everybody else is kind of smiling and having a good time, which was me for a good amount of my life, definitely, I would say, but yes, oh my gosh, I just love this. I love how, like, see where I'm walking right now? I love how I just love the white of the ground in the forest, and then you have like the random like green leaves and all that kind of stuff. It just makes for a very classic winter look. It is very cold though, and I'm probably gonna regret talking, because when you talk and the cold gets in your throat. But I want to ask you a question though. Have you started to do any new challenges in this new year? Like, have you started to like? Is there any new like resolutions? Or maybe it's not even about the year. Maybe it's just like recent, just something you've recently decided to do, like deciding to be more physically active, learning something. I'm seeing that a lot of people are, taking courses and all that kind of stuff. Like, what's something that you would like to share that you're like really working on? I just think it's interesting to see the different things that people are going for. And I think also kind of just being able to, for me, like kind of checking in, and like, this is why I like to tell at least one person something that I am working on, so that way I can kind of be held accountable, because as I've mentioned many times, I tend to lose momentum. So I get super excited about something, and for a while I go so strong in it, and then over time I kind of lose it. I almost slipped right there. I literally almost slipped right here and fell down there, and trust me, it's a lot further down than it looks. Let's see if you can see. Okay. So, recently, I had a very interesting conversation with my bestie. I was talking about some of my big plans, or I consider them big plans, for the future. Things that I want to accomplish, things that I'm working on, and but then I started talking about but I was like, and I want to do this, but I'm afraid, and like I'm scared if I try this, I'm afraid. And so he had me like kind of talk about the different fears that I have. And so as I said them, he was basically challenging me to think of how I can address it, and he kind of like talked me through it and actually gave me some suggestions on ways to address those fears. And honestly, the more we talked about it, the less afraid I felt, because I know it goes back to like what I was saying about physical injury. I think if there's something that is a concern, I think there's more strength in trying than not. And I think also when you realize that there's a way that you can kind of address part of the fear, there's something very empowering about it. And that's, for me, that's a big, oh gosh, I can't feel my fingers. And for me, that's extremely important. I think with every step, I am losing more and more feeling in my fingers. Sometimes like, oh my gosh, with this winter, it's very deceitful. It doesn't seem like it would be because the air is very still right now. It doesn't seem like it would be cold enough to end my fingers, but it is. Okay, there's humans coming along the path, so I gotta seem normal now. I realized that I just need to let myself, like, just let my brain just get all worked up about whatever it's worked up about, so then I can hopefully sleep at night. And really, that's the big thing for me. Like, ever since when I first had real issues with, when I was little, I just wouldn't sleep. I would just want to stay up, and I want to talk with my siblings and all of that, and that was why I didn't sleep that much when I was a little kid. Then in college, it wasn't as much of a choice. There was every little thing I was overthinking. I was thinking about like papers that I had due. I was fearing a lot of things, fearing about like how things would go afterwards, and then not to mention relationship drama, which leads to its own, like, you know, sleep deprivation in many ways. So with all that on my mind, like, I needed to give myself some time to process. But a lot of times when I had a free moment with my mind, I'd be watching a show, procrastinating, or wandering the city while listening to music. So I wasn't giving myself much time just to think and have real quiet process moments. And I find that, like, now when I'm walking, I try not to walk with music as much. I try to, like, actually take in the environment and take in my own individual thoughts and, like, whatever's plaguing my mind. Because I think in the silence you'd be surprised at what you hear. The real challenge is trying to rush back to the car without slipping. But I did want to ask you, though, how do you incorporate like physical activity into your daily life? Like, and again, like, I'm not pretending to be any type of healthy person by any means, but walking is important to me for many reasons, and I'm just curious. Thank you so much for joining me as I go on this random walk in the woods. Well, I am almost at my car. Fingers are almost gone, but I hope you're having a great day out there. I really do. I hope that your year is off to a good start. I will be back with you again next week with another random episode. Maybe it'll be a walk and talk. Maybe it will be a sit inside and keep my fingers and body warm. But I really thank you so much for joining me on these as I continue to get more and more comfortable with this platform again. I'll talk with you soon.